Mr. Muhammad, I know you want to say a few more words on separation before we go into another subject.
Mr. Cups, I'm very anxious to finish what we started with on the separation. It is very nice and good for America to prepare educationally her slave that she once had in servitude. The education that we have acquired from white America, it will help us to begin for self anywhere on this earth that we may prefer to go or stay. If we are to stay here with you, we must stay in a separate part of America with you. And the education is still accepted. We need all the education, I must stop and say that we can, of good education, to help us to go for self. And as far as our reaction to what we have acquired in the way of education, it doesn't mean that we should now be satisfied to remain with you just because that we have now acquired more respect of self in the way of education and can do more better service for you than we have in the past. The thing of it is, since we have acquired enough to make a step out of the house of bondage where that our fathers was enslaved or put in bondage, we should now go, and you should help us to go and provide the necessary means for us to continue going in the way of self. This would also give you a great and a good name. The slave master sent his slave off with the provision to keep going for himself. We need modern tools now. We don't need to apply a mule. We need a tractor. And we need the land, certainly, that will provide a living and the necessity of life otherwise, such as buildings and other machineries. We want that we can go into as you have went into it, and pull out of her treasures the necessary means for us to build a nation for ourselves.
But is this consistent, Mr. Muhammad, with your position? You were saying about the Negro doing things for himself. Then you say the government must turn around and give him all this territory and operate it for him for 20 years.
We think the government is obligated. We have given her 400 years. And now we want to go for ourselves. How are we to get started for ourselves if the slave master is not willing to provide the means for us to go free for ourselves?
In your position on separation, did you feel that the Supreme Court made a mistake in 1954 when it ruled that segregation must end in the public school systems?
No, I don't say the government made a mistake by saying the kind of segregation that we have lived under should be terminated. I don't think she made any mistake there. But I do think the government is making a mistake now to try to hinder us from being separated, since we have already lived under segregation for the past centuries. Now we would like to be separated and live over here to ourselves, since we cannot get along with you in peace.
Let me take you into another area that we discussed at the opening of the show, Mr. Muhammad. That is your prediction in the book, The Message to the Black Man, that the whites and the non-whites inevitably must come to a war. Do you really feel that there must be a war between the races?
If you will not submit to the law of justice, freedom, justice, and equality, and submit to do good, certainly, this is the time that good confronts us to rule the people, and not evil. Your history teaches us that you have always warred In Europe, there was once a 100-year war, a 30-year war, and they have continued a war history of your race ever since you had civilization.
But it isn't only the white man, Mr. Muhammad. Every man, white, red, yellow, has always engaged in war just as much as the white man.
History never give us any knowledge of a war between the brown, yellow, black races before you.
Well, the Chinese and the Japanese warred for many, many centuries, and certainly the blacks in Africa had their tribal wars, and the Muslims and Christianity had their religious wars. I mean, war has been a part of man ever since.
And in your sphere of ruling the people since 6,000 years, you will mention what happens in the period of 6,000 years. Well, you are the boss there. You started there.
You maintain that the white man, according to this book, has been on this earth only 6,000 years.
Only 6,000
years. And that the black man was here many, many years, centuries before.
We don't have no birth record.
But the anthropological facts may differ with you, but this is, of course, according to your religion, right?
It depends on the man who does the analyzation of this past history of our people, bones and rocks and whatnot.
Your statement of inevitable war is so reminiscent of what Red China has been saying, that the yellow race and with the colored race will fight the white race, that it's a little frightening that you would be on the same beam, the same line of reasoning with him. I wish you'd explain that further.
We cannot move ourselves if we are there by God himself. In the beginning we are there, and you are there. In the very beginning, we cannot change nothing, and I'm not asking no one to accept any change that I would try and make, because I'm not trying to make one. Everything, Mr. Cup, that I say concerning the truth, whether it's war, whether it's separation of nations, I have it from Bible, Quran, from Jesus, from all the prophets in the past, from God himself, and I'm not talking myself. I'm talking what God and his prophets say.
Of course, Mr. Muhammad, Jesus, and all the other recognized religious leaders always preached love, not hatred.
Take for an instant, Jesus, he taught love of his Father. We used the name he used there. He taught that we should love the Father. We should love the word, the teachings of God. We should love the man that loves God and loves the teachings of God. This was Moses' teaching to Israel, was to love thy God with all thy heart, soul, might, and strength. But you are not taught to love the enemies, the nations that will not love your God and will not allow you to pass through or not allow you to settle in your own land. You should destroy that nation, or God will destroy them before you. This is Moses. Then God goes so far as to say himself that there was two brothers, that he loved one and hated the other. God is the first hater. Jesus also seconds his Father in these words, that unless you can hate your mother, brother, sister, father, pick up your cross and come follow me, you cannot be my disciple. You have to hate first there. He gives to us the old well-known teachings there in Matthew. I think it's around Matthew or in John 1. Anyway, it's there in his teaching. Here comes again some more of Jesus' teaching. He mentions this saying of the two brothers, one hated, another loved, to verify his own hatred of the evil people. He did not declare himself as being a lover of all men. He could not be the representative of God if he loved all people, because some people are evil. and a time of judging and meting out sentences to the evil and the contrary people of God is also on the page of history that these prophets put there for us to read and study. Moses did so, and now comes Jesus, who covers his spear of delivering the message to Israel, a final message, and then denounces Israel as being enemies of God, and that a day of judgment is set for your execution. All of this is given right there of the Bible that is put in the words of Jesus. And we continue to have this, and in the beginning we have it, Moses addressed Israel, and Deuteronomy there, saying to Israel that in the very beginning, when we speak of separation, that God separated the sons of Adam. If God saw it more best and peaceful to separate these sons of Adam, brothers, these sons represent brothers. They can't live together. We separate the very sons of Adam and give them a place on the earth and set boundaries for them, that they cannot be entering in and out of the other country without permission. Boundary means that you must have permission to come in my part of the country. And now, all of this is set forth to us in the Bible, in which the Christians say we should believe. If the Christian don't believe in his own Bibles, the sayings of his own Bible, how can he preach to us to believe in it? If the Christian don't want to abide by the book that he represents is from the prophets of God and their sayings, how can then he force us to believe that which he